Hello. I'm going to wait just a second
Hey,
or so because it takes a little bit of time for the thing to catch up
right.
um, with the delay. But I want to welcome everybody here to the show, and much anticipated that had to be canceled. And then Tom went on his well-deserved vacation.
Hmm?
And so we are finally here. I think it was early December, wasn't it? We were going to get together. I think it
Yep,
was.
I
It's
think
been a
it was.
while.
It was two
It's
weeks
been a
before
while.
I left. So, yep.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, thanks for putting up with me and my issues. And I'm glad you had a good vacation.
Oh, it
And
was
I'm glad,
wonderful.
yeah. Uh-huh. So we already have Kathy, the breeze warrior, here. Hi, sweetheart. And
Hey,
I've got a
Kathy.
chance to meet her. She's wonderful. And Carol Lamb is here.
Hi,
Yeah.
Carol.
Isn't that great? And we have Jenny, um, Whispers from Heaven, who's going to have a channel
Oh,
fairly soon herself. We
great.
have Sunshine coming in from your channel. Wait a minute.
Oh, okay.
Why won't it show up? Ooh,
I
there
have
we
my
go.
comments here. Yep.
Yep,
Hi.
yep. And we have Bora Bora. And Bora Bora is one of the best moderators you could ever find. So I'm just passing that along to you because I don't know how many moderators you have. But and Juanita's here. And
Oh,
Sunshine actually says very excited for this guest today. So yes, me too.
wonderful.
Me
Thanks.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So like I said, Tom and I were going to chat, and oh, you got a lot of commercials, Anita. I'm sorry. I try not to do much with them, but I'm sorry. They do show up. They can be a pain in the neck. I do realize. Anyway, hello, Anya. But what I wanted to do was certainly introduce Tom to the group, and I want everybody to know that his information for his channel is in the show notes, and he is trying to get up to 200 subscribers because he's just fairly new at what he's not new at learning things, but new at his channel. And what is it if you'll throw somebody's name in for a reading? Right?
Yeah.
Is that
So
what you're?
tomorrow, I'm going to be live with my friend Kathy, who's in the chat.
Uh-huh.
We're going to be
Mhm,
doing readings tomorrow at 12
mhm.
noon Eastern time. So anybody that signs up, subscribes to the channel, their name will be put in this basket here, and
Okay,
we'll pull their name for a free reading or a Reiki session. So
perfect. Wow.
if you wouldn't mind, if your subscribing name is not in your title, if you could send me an email at time to transcend 1111
Mhm.
at gmail.com.
All
So,
right, I'm going to put that in the notes here. And there's Jeffrey Peck.
oh,
Hello,
hi,
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
Time to transcend.
One,
111.
1111, 4 ones at
Okay.
gmail.com.
Very good. So I've got it here on my channel list that you can see coming in from my channel. And you can also go to Tom's channel, and he probably has that there as well. You probably have it if you click on what's your email, correct?
Yeah. And if you go
Yeah.
on my website too, which is timetotranscend.com,
Mm-hmm.
you can, there's another email on there. Any email I get or any information, you're in the raffle. So that would be great.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And we'll mention it again. Remind me, we'll mention it again before we leave when
Okay,
there'll be other
great.
people here. Yeah. So I'm going to talk today with Tom for a while. And I'm going to say that sometimes I say Tomas because I see him as that. When I met him, that's sort of what we talked about. So if I say Tomas, it's just the Spanish rendition, isn't it? It's the
Right.
Spanish rendition.
When I liked it, when I lived in California, it kind of was my name. And
Uh-huh.
I really liked it. And when I met you, I was like, that's what I want to use, but it gets confusing. So I just sort
Yeah.
of but I
Yeah.
love being called Tomas. I love the way it
Okay.
sounds. So.
Good. I do too. It sounds really great. And hi, Richie's Reach. It's good to see
Oh,
you
hi,
here.
Richie.
Yeah. So thanks for coming in as well. Yeah. So you'll be there for sure, Bobby. Bobby says.
Oh,
Okay.
great.
All right. Yes, yes, Tomas is awesome. So I want to start out by let's see, talking a little bit about your introduction to this type of thing and how that came about, and then kind of like how you move through your process into what is now your channel and what you do outside of your channel that's spiritual. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the name of your channel. So, but I'd like to start sort of, did you grow up this way? Was this something that you were interested in?
So when I was a kid, all I remember is my mom saying to me, "You're so sensitive. You can't have an animal because you can't handle, you know." So but she didn't know how to respond to that. It's interesting now with her in spirit, she's actually been helping me a lot. There's a lot of stories I could tell you.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. But yeah, so I was always very intuitive and dreaming. And then in my 20s, I started getting into any kind of esoteric. I would go to the bookstore and sit in the esoteric section because that's all we had. And I would look about, ETs, Bigfoot, Knights Templar, Lost Gospels, whatever. And so that's what I did. And then fast forward to about 3 years ago, I retired from my full-time work and I decided to quit drinking. And
makes you more of a conduit, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Yeah.
It completely, yep. It literally opened me up. It totally opened me up. So
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And that's when you started taking some classes, and is that what was going on then? Yeah.
One thing led to another. Basically, it was in like February or March, and I saw the retreat that Jeffrey Peck and Kevin Lewis and Debbie Hedberg were doing in Sedona.
Okay.
And I said, I want to go to that. And I even remember emailing Jeffrey that later. I said, I'm going to do Reiki because of what happened in April of that 24. I basically had a visitation from my in-laws in spirit. They actually came to me in light forms. And it was a whole experience. And that whole week, it was one thing after another. It was very hard to deal with because I wasn't sure what was happening. People around me weren't sure what was happening. But from that to then doing the retreat and doing the Reiki training and then now I went back to that, and I actually just went to Arthur Findlay College for trance training back in.
I did hear that you were going to do that. How was that? Oh, it must have been amazing.
Yeah, I was really, it was really amazing. And Kevin Lewis was there and as well. And so got to meet a lot of new people. And I'll be actually going to go back to Arthur Findlay in March of this year for more training with Eileen Davies. So I'm looking forward to that. It was incredible, and there was like probably 80 people there in the retreat. So a lot of energy.
Oh, must have been blow the doors right off, I would imagine.
Yeah, like they did a demonstration of several of trance mediumship, and there's 80 mediums in the room with the people doing the demonstration, and all that energy is just it's just incredible. It can't even really, it's hard to describe really how
I would imagine it would be. Yeah, it's like a surreal otherworldly experience, I would think. It must be. Yeah. Wow.
A lot of energy.
A lot of energy. And that's an evidential mediumship training. Is that what that is?
Yeah, so it is. The trance mediumship is where there's a couple people you can see on YouTube, but it's versus mental mediumship, which I do. And I'm working on the trance piece of things. But basically, you're letting spirit come through you in a very direct way. And, in some cases, people's voice even changes. So it's actually a direct message versus like with what I get is I start off with clairvoyance with a vision and then the clairaudient and then the sensing. And so it's when I'm doing a reading or mediums are doing a reading, it is coming from spirit, but it's also the medium is acting like the medium between the spirit world and where we are right now.
Like old-fashioned spirituality seance type stuff too, right? Because there are people whose voices would change and but there's also like trance channeling, like Bashar or something. So that's a different aspect. Is that right?
Yeah, there's a little bit of across the pond differences in the term channeling and trance. They kind of get into that. But I feel like if you're doing mediumship work and you're really into the zone, I guess,
Yeah.
I also am doing a channeling at that point. At some point, it
Okay.
can turn into
Yeah.
that. So yeah. So yeah, voice
Wow.
doesn't necessarily change, but you're
Uh-huh.
actually in the play in the mode, I guess.
In the
So
mode. Yeah. Yeah. Like it is interesting to watch Bashar come through and the way he, kind of sits up and talks. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. We think you're great, whatever. Yeah. It's awesome. It's really awesome. I know a friend of mine that used to work with me on a mediumship, Thayer Hutchinson. I don't know if you know Thayer, but she used to go to Arthur Finley as well. And she loved it. She thought it was fabulous. So it's wonderful you have that opportunity to do that.
very
Wow.
lucky, very grateful for all this.
Yeah. I know.
Grateful.
It's your time is what it is. So you do also do cards, and you have a right now. You have a favorite deck right now. Do you also do Oracle or just Tarot?
So I would do traditional tarot, and then I got into this deck here. It's the Psychic Tarot.
Yeah.
So it's not it's based on tarot. It's by John Holland, who's a medium, and it's 65 cards. It's based on the 4 elements as well as the chakras, and then there's cards that are kind of like based on tarot. So it's kind of and it's really meant for. And when I bought it, as usual, I didn't buy it. I thought, oh, that looks interesting. It turns out it's a card that works well with mediums.
Oh, really? I think I have a deck somewhere, but I haven't really used it. So that's good. That's interesting.
So I really like it.
Yeah. So. That's cool. That's cool. Wow. And I know that you have mentioned that you also work with Kathy, and it's one of your shows each week you and Kathy do together. Is that right?
So we've done now 2 shows together. And Kathy's been on another channel as well. But we, being new to this, the first 2 shows we did one on gratefulness, and then we did one on awakening and that kind of thing. But we want to experiment being on the channel. So tomorrow we're actually going to do readings. So
excellent. Okay. So there's a good reason for everybody to go.
Yeah. Come on. Come on and bring your question. So
come on down. So I told Tomas that I wanted to talk a little bit about his choice of his channel name, which is It's Time to Transcend. That's the name of the channel, Time to Transcend. What was this? Something that was downloaded to you? Was this something that you were into? Where did this come from?
So I was trying to come up with the name for the business, for the originally the Reiki business. And we were trying to get some T words in there: time, tranquility.
Yeah.
We even had one time somebody said, "How about touched by Tomas?" I was like, "No, that doesn't sound right." So
that could be misconstrued. Yes.
Yeah. So then it was into like time, and then I got into thinking about it, and at some point transcendence came in. And then when I went on, to look up the business name and see if it was available, and it was available. And then when I looked up the domain was available. So timetotranscend.com. So everything clicked, but really what transcendence is about, looking beyond and
looking beyond the physical. Yeah,
exactly. So for me, that really speaks to how things happen to me, and that I was pretty much, in the 3D world, so to speak, but I always wondered about things. But when everything opened up to me, I was having my own little transcendence experience.
Of course you were. And you probably will continue to, because you're doing the work as well. You're not, what I love about it though, is that you're not pushing, you're allowing. And so each event that comes up for you, if it's interesting and if it's something that you want to do, you find a way to get that thing done. And it's so, I was teaching a class yesterday. I was talking about the Eastern and Western way that people do things. The Eastern way is allowing things to flow and move at their right pace and show up the way. And the Western is, got to get this done. We got to do this. We got to push. We got to work really hard. And so it seems to me like you're more of an allower, that you allow things to come in that you need. Would you say that?
Yeah, I would definitely say that. It's interesting that what you just said, how things kind of fall into place. So this morning, every morning I get up and I do automatic inspired writing.
Okay.
My guides, and then I make them into, I'll post sometimes I'll post it, and then I'll make it into a short as well, with a message. But, and I get messages for myself, but then I get messages for like the world. And today, the message I got, which I posted, was, about pausing and reflecting and taking time and not rushing through things. And so like, here's what and this was weird today.
Oh, wow. Look at you.
Yeah.
Good
So
for you.
pages, and it just flows out of me. And then but then what's interesting was I was sitting there after I did the video and everything, and I was going through it. I goes, well, that's really interesting. And I said, I heard my guys almost like laughing, because it was like, I was pausing and reflecting on my pausing and reflecting video, and then you just brought it up. So yeah, we're rushing through life so much that we need to pause and reflect and take some time to, like they say, smell the roses.
It reminds me of, I have a teacher writing class at the college level, and my kids are, 18, 19, some of them are early 20s. And I will say, you have to go outside and do an observation essay. You have to be alone. You're not supposed to talk to anybody. You're just going to write for 20 minutes. And I want you to tell me what you see, smell, taste, hear, whatever, all the senses. And, they come back in and they tell me, oh my God, I didn't know there was a soccer net down at the end of my street. And I've lived here for 10 years, whatever it was, and it's because we're in a car most of the time, and we're not looking. If you're walking, you are going slower. So you might see things that other people don't see, but when you're specifically guided to do those writings, and then you reflect back on it, usually when you're a little bit older, but it's like, wow, I didn't really know that. I didn't know that existed, or I didn't know that was there, or I hadn't thought about that. And especially for young people who are so concentrated on their phone and looking down all the time.
Earbuds, phone. Yeah. It's their input when there's already input around you to take in.
Correct. Yeah. So I really love that. I love pause and reflect on pausing and reflecting. I love that. I really do. Yeah. You did do that, Anita, when you were in college. You got a lot of writing ideas. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It really is. You can come up with some really fun things when you're, of course, nobody wants to write now, but I love that you do the automatic writing. And I love that you wrote all that. That's prolific. That's amazing.
Yeah, I have notebooks. This was like, I have every day I do it. So I just started a mediumship club that's going to lead into some classes at a store that I work at in the Poke. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. So we met, the first class was 2 Saturdays ago, and I just gave him kind of a writing assignment. I said, just start, writing some things down that are coming to you related to a question. And so, so it's, they were like, we'll see what happens in the next group. But they were very intrigued by it. So
that's awesome. And my class that I'm teaching right now is spiritual alchemy through journaling. So that's here on, my website. And I'm having a great time with the ladies that are in the class. And so it's amazing what you will gather when you take the time to sit down and write something, and do it with your hand. When you're writing with your hand, typing is fine for certain things, but not for writing, really. Yeah.
And I have to say this is old school, but cursive is really the way that connects your thoughts. And
It
they're
is.
proven that. And I think there's going
Yeah.
to be a movement to kind of reteach that in the schools. I mean, I was in schools and I remember when it went away, and
Yeah.
we had it, you know, kids have to sign those test books. Sometimes they
Yes.
have to take, now it's on computer, but we had to teach a lesson on how to sign your name so they could sign the test book, because they
I
couldn't
know, isn't
sign
that
their name.
sad?
But
It's
when you're
sad.
writing, when you're writing like that, it is connecting your thoughts. So yeah, writing
Yeah.
on paper is still important.
Absolutely. And I love the idea of writing by the river, because you're by a flowing place and you can let your words flow as well, Anita. That's wonderful. But yeah, I think that it's funny because I saw that they were looking for people, and I don't know if this is still working because of all the changes in the government, but they were looking for older people to work in the National Archives, taking cursive things and writing them. Yeah. I don't think there was a paid component for it, but it was like older people can read it mostly. You know, the younger people have. I would write out, and I never really thought about it. I would write my comments when I was getting papers sent to me, you know, given to me by hand, and they would come up and say, "Can you read this to me?" And then I thought, maybe we want to do this online from now on, you know, which is really sad. But yeah. So did you taught? You taught at the school level?
Yeah, so I was in schools for 33 years.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness. I had no idea. Wow. Like
yeah.
junior high school or elementary school
I
or?
taught all grades, and I was a music teacher for 15 years.
Mm,
All
mm,
grades, mostly instrumental music.
mhm.
And in California, I even had a mariachi group. That was wonderful.
Oh, I
Jazz
love that.
band, marching
Yeah.
band, concert band, orchestra,
Yeah.
elementary course. And then the last 18 years, I used to say I went to the dark side. I was a school administrator.
Okay. Okay. Well, you probably got a little bit of a pay raise, I would hope, for
Yeah,
doing administrative work. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I was able to support the arts and things that I did as a teacher, but at a bit
Yeah.
different level. So
In
I
a different.
enjoyed everything I did. So
That's awesome. Yeah. And it's pretty boring to do the same thing for 33 or more years or whatever amount. You know, I've been teaching at the college level since 1999, and I'm really ready to retire, but I can't afford it. So I'm still doing it, but it's not, you know, I'd rather be doing it with older folks that want to learn something. It's much more fun, you know?
yeah.
So yeah, that's great. So I want to talk just a little bit about everybody. If you're familiar with Abraham Maslow, he was a psychologist, and he talked about Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And it's like a pyramid. And at the bottom of the pyramid is like, what is our first vital need? And it's food and water and a place to live, really. Because if you don't have that, you can't accomplish the one above it, which I mean, I think sexual pleasure is somewhere in there, maybe closer to the middle. And then there's other things that go up. And the very top of this particular hierarchy of needs is transcendence. And so when I knew I was going to talk to Tomas, I just wanted to, you know, I think it's a wonderful topic just to talk about. And in this case, he had very many variable and various meanings of transcendence. He's actually got 34 of them. But he says, in this case, I know this is our spiritual transcendence that Tomas is talking about. It's like being able to see above whatever the 3D is. I
Right.
would say 5D, wouldn't you? It's really somewhere up there. So I never thought about it that way, but that's exactly what it is. And everything else is really, you know, more underneath that. But he's got transcendence of time, culture, one's past, ego, transcendence as a mystical experience. And that's, I mean, there's nothing more beautiful than a mystical experience. Have you had one when you were, well, you must have when you were in that group with Arthur Finley. Did you also have them when you were with groups like in Sedona or other places when you started doing that work?
Yeah. if I could just tell a quick story, and
Oh,
since
please. Yes,
I mentioned
please.
mom earlier, so this was in the Reiki level 2 training. I guess 2 years ago, I was with my partner, and I had actually had the same partner for the whole weekend. And so we got to it was the last day, and we had to, do a practice session on each other. And as she went first, and as she started and put her hands like on my head, I don't know, I just started feeling this emotion. And then it felt like her hands were turning, and I could feel my mom's hands. And then this is when the clairvoyance was kicking in. I was seeing my mom as she looked when I was younger with the dark hair, and she was younger looking. And then I felt her. I felt love, but it wasn't just love. It was her. It was like she was there, and I was crying and everything. And I was just like, it was unbelievable. And then when it was over, we had to share with each other, but we couldn't, tell each other what we got. So I said, well, you go first. She says, well, she goes, I can't even tell you what happened. She said, as I started doing the session, I felt somebody come behind me. And then I felt their hands go into my hands. And I heard, she said, and I knew it was your mom. And then she said to me, was your mom's name Vita? And at that point, I'm bawling my eyes out, because I'm like, that's like, I never told her my mom's name.
Yeah.
Like, and I was still going, wow, this is like for real. Like, this is really happening.
Yeah.
And then she said to me, your mom was there to help give you Reiki through me. Wow. So, it was just an amazing experience.
And then you ended up telling her that you knew that your mom was there. And
after I wiped the tears and stuff, I said, I felt my mom's presence. I said, my mom's name was Vita. That's,
oh my God.
Yeah. And it's
not a normal name either. No, there isn't. Yeah. No.
So, anyway, that was probably after the initial experience where I saw some visions and I had a friend visit me and different things, which was interesting in itself. That one really was when things started to kind of coalesce. So, but
that's an interesting experience. It reminds me of my friend. I was visiting my friend near Tampa, probably about 2013 or something like that, or maybe earlier than that. And we were driving around, and she said, let's go to this metaphysical store. They're going to have a drumming there. Well, I love drummings. I absolutely love them. But I didn't have my drum with me. I was traveling from Seattle, So I said, yeah, let's go. So we go down there, and Melinda's with me, and she's not really a metaphysical person, but she's one of those people that will try anything and enjoy. She enjoyed every experience. So we get there, and I'm sitting somebody let me borrow a drum, and I'm sitting in this group of probably about 40 or 50 different people. And the woman starts the thing out, and she said, we have a visitor here who came very, very far, who wanted to share her life with, or share her time with us. And she looks over at me. This is a woman. I didn't say anything to her, and she didn't know anything about me. And she looks at me, not my friend, but me. And she said, would you please tell us about yourself? She goes, we know you're a visitor and that you're just joining us here. And I was like, okay. But to me, that was mystical, because I was just somebody coming in off the street. And, I must have, maybe this person was very good about auras or whatever it was. But they're like, oh, you must have done drumming before. You were brought here. You were guided to come to this drumming to be with us today. And I thought, okay. I mean, I felt really, really happy about it. But it was amazing, because I was like, what? Had no idea. Yeah,
it's like I was telling the students I was working with, they were, well, how does that work? How does this work? And I said, well, 40 years ago, for those that are of us that are older, if you wanted to get information, you had to get an encyclopedia out. Oh, and I said, now you can just type on a thing and it comes from the cloud. So if you think about that, like in the heaven dimension, it's like so they're just connecting to this energy and these. So anyway, yeah. I could go on about that. So again, we're talking about this transcendence, and I
Yeah.
actually was kind of thinking about it, and I thought of something that a saying that people say is like, seeing the forest for the trees.
Uh-huh.
So like you're not getting bogged down in those little details of the 3D world, like, oh my God, I got this problem, like seeing those trees as problems versus you're seeing the big picture. And that's what I really feel like when you're getting into this work, or even when you're having a reading or a Reiki session, you can have that experience where you're at some level you're experiencing something that's not with your five senses. So
Correct. Correct. Yeah. It's outside of you. And one of the things is that was said in this article was that it's the meta psychological sense of transcending one's own skin and body and bloodstream. And I thought, oh my, it's like you're at soul level because there's no body involved, and you're connecting on that complete soul level. So that goes along with what you've said. Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah, beautiful.
Somebody typed in about their Funk and Wagnalls. I thought that was funny. I'm watching the comments as much here, but
Yeah.
everyone that's saying hi, especially those
Yeah.
that I know from Sedona and everything, was just great to see you here. So
Yes, thank you for being here to sit with us today. And I'm just going to remind anybody, if you go to Tom Tried to Transcend, that's his channel. If you sign up as a subscriber, your name will be listed and picked in for a free reading. So there you go, or Reiki or reading, whatever it is that you choose you want. And just send him a short email that's, if your name is like, GYPOL or something, that he doesn't know what your name is. So just let him know. Yeah. Yeah. And
great.
Yeah. Anyway, I've only started tapping into also transcendence of time. And, we're so ingrained in this idea of, well, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, I got to be here at 10 o'clock. I have a reading at 8 o'clock. I have to, make my dinner at 5 o'clock, whatever it is. And we would not have survived in the 3D world without it.
Right.
We'll just go to work whenever we think it's 8 in the morning, but now this transcendence of time, which has always been there, except we have compartmentalized it so that it is more linear when it really isn't. That's what my hope is when I'm ready to really retire from any kind of work that I do, that I just, I'm just out there enjoying life and not thinking about what time it is all the time. So,
yeah, I do enjoy that part of it when I'm not, I still have things that I'm doing, but you can kind of just, when you have like a good chunk of the morning or even up to lunchtime to kind of do whatever,
right.
It's just it's such a nice experience. And you know how it is when you're working in schools, I don't care what kind of school, it's like there's always like, you're always like keeping track of things and meetings and things. And so
right, a lot more rigid.
Yeah.
and even though, you could say that having a show, you have to have some rigidity, obviously, because you won't show up or somebody else won't show up or whatever. But there's just something about doing something you really love, which is a show, that makes that different. That for me anyway. And I'm sure you're probably feeling that way too. Just being able to sit down and share with the group.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's really a great feeling, honestly. So it says here also, transcendence as a mystical experience, which you did give us that was amazing. Mystic fusion, either with another person or the whole cosmos or anything in between, is described by the religious mystics in the various religious literatures. Now, I'm not a big on religion, but I took a comparative religions class, and we read Rumi and Hildegard von Bingen, and what I learned was that mystical experiences are similar throughout every religion and are nothing like regular religion. They're more like each other. So if you were a whirling dervish that was a Sufi out there whirling around, it would be a lot like being a Christian mystic or a mystic from some other, other religion. So it's fascinating.
I was just going to add this. I was, it was a few years ago. I was in church. I was brought up Catholic, and the priest was talking about Saint Padre Pio.
Yes.
And he was talking about him and different things. And then all of a sudden he goes, yeah, he could bilocate. And I'm thinking, and then he just went on. And I'm like, so yes. It's as my friend that's passed, that's around me a lot. He used to say, oh, Tom, you need to study comparative religion, because I like where things come together like that.
Yeah.
And so, so I'm fascinated by that. I actually thought about this in addition to the thing I said about the forest, the transcendent, what you were saying about the Maslow's hierarchy. One thing that motivates in the lower levels is fear. Fear is such a driver of so many things. And I'm always thinking about love and fear and how that interacts with each other. But I wrote acting from clarity versus fear. So
that's hard to do sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah. But I think that's part of the transcendent experience is really seeing, like, what is there actually to fear in the end? If life goes on, then what's the,
absolutely.
That's way easier to say than live that.
Than to deal with. You're absolutely right. Yeah, because it's the same idea. Because I am mostly a Buddhist, and one of their tenets is life is suffering, and it's true. Who needs it, But there's a lot of other things, and becoming attached to something, and that's really hard because we are always attached to things. And I think it really brings that up so that it can just bring in the idea of the death experience, because when we are attached to someone, even an animal or a person or whatever, that it's more difficult for us but at the same time, how can you not be attached to someone you love? So it's kind of a conundrum when you want to, work in that with that regard. But I'm going to recommend to you, it's not a religious book, but what it is David Hawkins. I don't know if you've heard of him. He was alive. He's not alive anymore, but he has like 20 books out there. And he talks about the calibration and vibration of every emotion, every religion, and even some of the avatars. And then, who's at the top. And there's your transcendence again, because there's your enlightenment, right? At the pinnacle. And so I love, I know I may be beating a dead horse here, but I just love the idea of your channel name as Time to Transcend. It does take time to transcend, but it's also time to transcend. If you got, you could look at it both ways. Yeah.
It's not, it's not going like from here to like, oh, it's
right.
You're just like, oh, I didn't think about that. Oh, that's, wow, that isn't that important, So you mentioned Buddhism. A lot of my things I write, I've had people say, well, that sounds Buddhist. So when I look back on the things that I get, a lot of them transcend, across this scope of things. And there's some of it that's from a lot of different, and
absolutely.
I just hope I live long enough to see this divisions in the world, which I know it's been there forever. But if we can, I always tell this to when I was working in the schools. I said, remember, there's we have more things in common than we have differences.
That's right.
I think that it goes along with, when you get down to the core beliefs, a lot of different systems and even spirituality, there's a core there that's, I say there's a lot of window dressing, but the truth is the truth.
That's correct. It's like there's a book, I think it's called Jesus and Buddha or something like that, and it's like so many of what things they said were exactly the same. And there are others that were, Emerson, and you've got what's his name in India, the Gandhi, different people like that, and they all have those things that are very, very much near the same. So Power versus Force is the name of the book. If anybody's interested in starting anything with David Hawkins. Actually, my viewers know about my friend Pam, who comes on. She'll be on tomorrow with me, and she does calibrations and clearings for people with emotional clearing, which is a different thing. But she also does the calibrations and figures out what level. Like you've got down here, you've got greed and avarice and hatred and all that way down the bottom. Mm-hmm. And then by the time you get up to a level 500, then you're almost at enlightenment. But there's 1,000 levels, so if you get up further a little bit out of the 500 level, then, you've got more. And I believe a little bit over 500 is the point of compassion. So it's just interesting. It's really interesting information. Yeah.
I love this kind of discussion. I've often said this, and I don't want to get into too much of it, but I really feel that, going back to you were saying about Buddha and Jesus, well, I feel like a lot of what he was saying was basically Buddhist. And
I know,
because one of the things I wrote in one of my messages I got was, it's not about worship, it's about connecting and the energetic connecting of love. And so anyway, that's
wonderful. Yeah, no, I love that. I do. We also, in here, it says here that we have to also transcend the opinions of others. Oh, yes, we do. Yeah. Because, it means to be able to be unpopular when this is the right thing to be, to become an autonomous, self-deciding self, to write one's own lines, to be one's own man, not to be manipulated or seducible. I love that word. And, I don't know, but there's a lot of us that haven't been able to do that, or just really, we get to a certain age and we say, you know what, I've been doing this my whole life. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to worry about even though there's a little bit of us that still kind of has that in there. So, yeah.
It's hard, but then again, if you let that drive you, then it's driving you, it's owning you.
Correct. Yes.
So like letting it go is as much as you can, it frees you up for your own journey.
That's right. Yes, Kathy, it is the big one. Stand in your own power. Yeah. And actually, even we were talking mostly about these avatar people, Buddha, Jesus, but Immanuel Kant in 1784, who was a German philosopher, used to say, I want to say this right. Have courage to think for yourself. Stop worrying about what everybody else is saying about you. And there you go. Just a philosopher and actually a lot of religious things are philosophical, like Buddhism is very philosophical, but that's wonderful. Well, I just have to tell you that, I love going down rabbit holes. And so I thank you for going down rabbit hole with the name of your channel, because I think it's fabulous. And I really do believe that, these are downloads that we get. That same thing happened to me when I picked my channel name. My husband and I kind of pulled together to pick it. And I didn't want the word mind in there, because I wanted to, to have the heart and the soul working together instead of the mind that can trap us sometimes in that 3D. And I didn't realize that at the time, really.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. So yeah, whatever it is that you receive is a divine message. It really is. And you just have to believe in it, don't you think? You have to believe that you're getting that message.
Yeah, and it's like you're learning it at different levels. It's like, when you're a kid, you might watch a movie and think this part's funny, but as you watch it as an adult, you're getting it at different,
I do. I
My
do. Yeah.
my two aunts took me to see. This is when I was 8. They said, "We're going to take you to see Young Frankenstein." This was in the 70s. They didn't know.
Yes.
And the funny thing is, the one aunt said, "Oh, there's a new rating system," and the other aunt said, "Well, what is it?" She goes, "PG," and she goes, "Oh, it means it's pretty good." So that's like, yeah, seriously, true story. But when we went to that movie, we thought, "Oh, this was great." And then when my parents found out about it, that movie was kind of, anyway,
Great.
years later,
Yeah.
I got all the jokes. I was laughing at certain things when I watch it. So it's the same thing.
Uh-huh.
When you have an experience, you're like, wow, and then you think that was amazing. And then the next time you have another experience that's even more of a wow. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
I know. That's amazing. And you were absolutely right. And a lot of us don't go back and watch some of those things later. I mean, I've done that with, what is it? My son used to watch probably The Simpsons or something, and he'd laugh at whatever that was, but he didn't get the other part of it, the part where the adults are having this conversation or whatever. But yeah, that's funny. I love that. I love that. Cher says, which is more of a challenge with social media and the entire social climate these days? Meaning not to worry about what people think of you. It's a huge part of why I'm no longer on Facebook. Don't need unnecessary challenges to self-expression. I agree. I agree. We have locked ourselves into some of those spaces. I mean, I've been on there since 2019, 2006 when it first came out, because in order to get a Facebook account, you had to be either a student or a faculty member at a college. That's when Mark Zuckerberg started it. And I don't think I touched it for 3 years or so. And then I saw some of my students on it, and they were old, they weren't still my students anymore, but I saw them and I connected with them and things. And it has been nice to, in the beginning, to connect with relatives that you may not have connected with forever and ever. But now it's just really, really, it's really difficult. It really is.
I stay on it because I actually found my dad's family that had been separated for 120 years. And
oh my, wow.
And I'm still connected to the relatives there. Although I'm adopted, so they're not my blood relatives, but I was brought up with that culture and everything. So yeah. But I lived in 3 different states, so I stay on it because it helps me to stay connected.
I understand.
But you have to do this a lot. You gotta.
I had to cleanse it, is what I did.
And I think a lot of this is bots, which I don't want to get into.
Oh, I agree with you. No, they're the instigators usually.
When you see that laughing face and it's something serious, just don't pay attention to it.
I know. I agree with you. No, totally, totally. I just have to take a break, from it, and because I'll get started and I'll post a whole bunch of stuff, and I realize, oh, I'm getting myself too deep into the way I feel. So that
they're pulling you in. So
they're sucking me in. Yeah. That's nice, Anya. Thank you. A very welcome spiritual palate cleanser. Yeah. Yeah. It gets old to listen to, even though we're all invested in a lot of it, but we need to step away from it. I think the political stuff, because it's just, it's too much. It's like PTSD. Yeah, it really is. Yeah. Hi, Leah. Nice to see you. Yeah. So we got about 10 minutes left. Would you, you guys, we can do a couple of readings for you if you'd like. I'm going to say probably 3 people would probably be. So if you, first 3 people in and want a reading, please go ahead and let us know. And I'm going to bring him back, and we're going to talk about other things and do readings another time. So there you go.
Wonderful. This has been great.
Yeah, really. So while I'm waiting for anybody that wants a reading, I'm just going to say once again that if you go over to Tomas's channel, it's Tom Time to Transcend, and if you subscribe, your name will be thrown into his basket for either a free reading or a free Reiki session. And he's going to pulling it tomorrow. Is that what you said? You're pulling the winner? Okay.
Yeah, tomorrow's show is 12 Eastern with my friend Kathy, where we're going to be doing readings. And so at the beginning of the show, we'll do the pull for the raffle.
Okay.
So anyone that subscribes between now and 12 noon tomorrow will be in the raffle. And I think we said earlier, if your YouTube name is such that I don't know who you are, if you could just email me at time to transcend 1111, that's 4 ones, time to transcend 1111 at gmail.com. Then I'll know that your name's in the raffle. So
Okay. That's fair. All right. We got enough questions here. So Linda Kennedy, I think you hit the jackpot first. So, and do you just want a general reading? I guess these are just general readings. Have you done those before, Tomas, or
yeah.
are you wanting a topic? You don't need to have a topic.
No.
Okay, good. I love that. Thank you.
I don't like constrictions. I like kind of wide open.
Yeah, me too. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. All right. So I'm using the Osho deck, and Linda, the first card I pulled for you is you're transforming, and I think that's absolutely spot on for you. You've transformed from one, and I love it because that's close to the word transcend. So here you go, transformation and transcending. You have walked away from some of the control that society may have kept you under, but also I love this too, because now you're controlling your life in the way you want to control it, and nobody else is telling you what to do. And so you do have your own channel, and it's going really well for you. And so I love that, because, and this is a big because, you have playfulness in your readings and your channel, and everybody feels welcome and comfortable when they come to see you because you are playful. Look at all the light around you, Linda.
Wow.
I know. It is beautiful.
And so I kind of was interesting. I pulled the authority card. So I think that there was kind of maybe in the past, and there were some obstacles and challenges that you've overcome. But what I really like is you've got positive movement forward, so on the right direction, and fulfillment of wishes.
Ooh.
And so the energy's there, and moving in the right direction is where you're headed.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, my dear. We have got Jenny, who would also love a reading. And Jenny's looking to start her channel, Whispers from Heaven, at some point. So
Jenny is, I'm looking at, I believe Jenny's from Sedona.
Went to Sedona? Oh, that you met? It's Jennifer Adams. It used to be Jenny from Virginia.
Maybe
Do
not.
You know her? No? Okay.
Maybe not. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Oh my goodness, what an interesting card. I've never got that card before. Oh. Jenny, I have the isolation card, which is interesting to me, because ice is that horrible entity. And it says here that that card comes up, and then I get this card, which says totality, and it says politics, of all things. So all of those seem to go together. But I'm gonna turn this into actually a more personal reading. You're spending time in isolation because this person is sort of being frozen out, or you have, and you've done that with your totality, for a long time. But now you're coming out of that. But it's interesting that politics come. I don't know what to make of that, actually. I don't know. Maybe it's to be careful of the dual nature of some people, perhaps. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, and extending that, I've got choose wisely. So I think it's maybe through that energy of that card that you pulled, Aley, is making sure use your intuition. And these cards that I have also have chakra cards. So I pull the heart chakra, which is your healing energy and your ability to to bring things together at a healing level. And the last card I got is material harvest. So whatever you're headed toward is in the right direction.
There you go. You're thinking, oh my, but Cher, you might be right. Maybe the political climate has caused you to shed the isolation and stand again. A lot of us are realizing that. So yeah, that's awesome. Anyway, I'm not going to let you I don't want you to worry about it as being negative. I don't think it is. So, all right, we've got Sunshine, and then we got Anita. So that's perfect. That's a perfect.
Sunshine, thanks for your comment before the show started.
Yeah.
You had made a nice comment. I'm glad you're here in the show.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Looking forward to you. Sunshine was looking forward to you being here. So that's great. Yeah. Ooh, very cool cards. All right, Sunshine, this is interesting. I get laziness. That doesn't mean you're lazy. It might mean you need to be more lazy. You know how sometimes we overdo things because, we have to take care of ourselves first and foremost. Nobody else is going to do it. Self-care, very important. So spend some time being a little bit lazy. And it says some things are just beyond an illusion. And look at the beautiful crystal coming out of the top of this entity's head. And it just reminds me of transcendence. Sorry. It's like, there you go. They want you to make sure that you live life moment to moment because they want you to stay present. And remember that we're not in a linear timeline. We are in past, present, and future at all times. And so just live each day, moment to moment, realizing that each one is just as precious as the other.
Yeah, and I feel like you've laid some groundwork in what you're planning and what you're doing. And I feel that what I'm hearing is that you've done all this work and it's going to lead you in the right direction. And also that a card I pulled is stand your ground. And so I feel like you've made your mark and you're moving in the right direction. And there's a lot of hope around where you're headed. And the last card, and I feel with this card is not just the light coming to you, but that you're going to be able to bring light to others. The light is true, light energy. So it's beautiful. And it goes along with your name. I just connected
your name. Yeah. I was just going to say that Sunshine is the perfect name for her. Yeah. So, that's awesome.
Oh, she says this all tracks. I'm glad. Thank you.
Good. Yeah, good. I'm glad too. Thank you for your question, Sunshine.
Yeah.
And now we have, I know it says Annie's Gifts, but her name is Anita. So Anita, we'll do a reading for you.
Anita.
And,
when I hear Anita, I think of West Side Story. One of the characters. That was Rita Moreno's role, I believe. Yep. I think so.
Oh, really? Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah. God, what a great dancer she was. It's interesting that you're getting transformation too. And I'm going to just say that I think all of us are experiencing some kind of transformative things that are going on, processes in our lives. And what I love about this is the Phoenix is there. There is sort of volcanic energy, and there's also the yin and the yang, the snake, and the sword. So to me, it's like you've got all these. It reminds me of the magician is what it does. It reminds me that the magician has all the tools laid out there in front of him. And it's incumbent upon him to pick up the tool he needs in order to do the work he does. The next card I get is the Master. And that is Osho there. Interesting. It wasn't really liked by a lot of people, but I've read a lot of his books and he had a lot of wisdom in his cultish way in some ways. I don't think he ever hurt anybody, but he sure had a lot of cars. I remember that about him. But you got the Master. So you're mastering something, Anita. You're working on something. You can see the globe above his head. It's like you're planting something. You're planting the seed for something. And then I get perfect harmony. Look at the dolphins. Oh, beautiful. Harmony of the heart, because the dolphins are heart-centered and bring their heart-centered wisdom to you to create harmony in your own life. So,
and look what I pulled, harmony.
Oh my God, you did too.
Right.
Perfect.
I pulled that at the end, and
okay.
I think you've been through some, obstacles, and you've been through some things in the past, but pull the solar plexus card, which is really where your confidence in your body center is. And I feel like you have the confidence right now and positive movement forward. And again, the harmony card. So you
landed in both of our third cards. Yeah.
You're coming through. Yep.
Yeah. Good for you, girl. Harmony is such a lovely word. Isn't that one of the songs that Elton John sang in the early 70s? I think it was. Yeah. Anyway, beautiful, beautiful. And you know what else that tells me? Because we pulled similar cards, maybe not all of them, but that we have that psychic bounce, which doesn't always show up right away. And you and I have it. So that makes me happy.
Happy too.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for spending some time with Tomas and I today. Again, Tom, Time to Transcend, and the information is in the show notes. If you can't find his channel by simply putting that in, which you should be able to, please subscribe. You may win something if you do.
Yeah.
So tell them again what your email is, just so they know.
Time to Transcend 1111, but that's 4 ones. Time to Transcend 1111 at gmail.com. And just say email I subscribed. And then the website is timetotranscend.com.
Very good. Very good. And Jeffrey Peck, thank you. It's nice to have you here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Kathy, have fun tomorrow, because I know you will be doing some fun stuff. So thank you, Jenny. Thank you, everybody. Much love. Thank you. Have a great day.
Take care, everyone.